Hey, what's going on, guys? Dr. Sean J. Harris here, Generational Wealth Academy. Listen, I'm going to share with you guys some information that's going to be so critical for generational wealth development. Listen, many times you hear people talk about generational wealth creation, but they don't really understand the genesis of building generational wealth. Listen, we look at a house, it could be a beautiful, just immaculate home. But many times we always talk about the landscape, we talk about the arcs, we talk about the veneer, we talk about the wonderful kitchen, the island, we talk about all this stuff, but we never talk about the foundation. Now, the foundation is the most unattractive, longest to build, and most expensive process of building a house. But once we build a foundation that's strong and solid, you can build an unlimited size house on the property. So I want you guys to look at this video. This video is showing a boy whose father passed away 6 years ago. However, the mom saved the dad's shoes. It's a collection of over 40 shoes. And looking at some of the shoes, they appear to be one of the most popular sports shoes that's out here, that's averaging about $250 a pair. So 40 shoes at $250 comes up to $10,000. So listen, I did a little case study. But in the same video, I looked at some of the comments. I'm just going to read some of the comments to you here. Someone said, I love this. Somebody said, I love this. Beautiful sneaker legacy. What if he kept the collection for his son? Why am I crying? So beautiful. This is dope. The flyness has been passed down. Carry the torch. Legacy drip. Really. I hope you're proud and grateful as he is. Rockin' well, young king. So these are some of the things that people are saying in approval. So here's the deal. I can understand that many people see this as a good sentimental thing, but financial acumen, financial literacy, this is not a good move. So I came up with 3 different scenarios that could have been played out a little differently. And I'm going to share them with you. I wrote notes, so let me stick to my notes instead of attempting to freehand this. So again, the estimated value of the shoes is $10,000. I gave 3 different scenarios. This is just the least of the scenarios, which you'll still do better than owning shoes. So the estimated value of your $10,000 IRA investment, if done 6 years ago, which would be 2018, will need to consider the average annual return. And it says historically you get a 4 to 6% return on investments, but it varies because, again, it depends on what type of IRA you get. So just assume with a Roth IRA account and you did a 4 to 6% return. Assuming that your annual return was 5, let's just stay in the middle. If your annual return was 5% on a $10,000 investment, you would earn around $13,381. So that's a $3,381 increase using a compounded interest calculator. So let's take a look at a different option. Now that's a great option because there's no bank that's going to pay you that amount of money. Okay, so let's shift gears. Let's look at a different scenario that's going to be even better. So let's say that we took that same $10,000 and we bought 2 different houses and we were able to put down $5,000 on each house. Let's just also assume over that period of time, each house accrued $50,000 in equity over the 6-year period of time from 2018 to 2024. So with that said, we would have a total of $100,000 in equity. So let's minus the $10,000. So that still brings us down to $90,000 in equity. So that represents a 900% return on investment. Not bad for the exchange of the shoes versus buying real estate property. So you still have the property, you have the equity, and that's not even factoring in if you're renting out the properties perhaps. They don't have to be residential, they could be commercial property. So imagine accruing a commercial rental fee. So that's going to be a 900% return on investment over a 6-year period of time. So this significantly outperforms the IRA. But the IRA wasn't a bad deal. It's still $3,381 that you came up on shoes instead of getting the shoes anyway. So now, yeah, keep in mind, because I know you're going to have some naysayers out there. Well, what about the market? What about the shift? What about not having people being able to rent the property? Listen, it's still a better deal. Okay. Again, that's where financial acumen kicks in. That's where understanding financial literacy kicks into play. Because here's the rule. If you can't catch the ball, you can't score. If you can't score, you can't win the game. If you can't win the game, you can't win championships and dynasties. And it's all about not knowing the rules to the game. If you never knew the rules to the game, you can never catch the ball. So at that point, we can stop the game right now. So the same holds true for financial literacy and financial wisdom. Now, let me give you one more super dope option. This is not investing advice. I'm just giving you experience. Let's just say that if a person invested $10,000 in NVIDIA, not giving any stock tips. Do I have NVIDIA? I'm not going to say. Do my kids have NVIDIA? I'm not going to say that either. But let's just say, if you invested $10,000 in NVIDIA stock 6 years ago, based on the recent growth trajectory, your investment would likely be worth over $250,000. So again, let's go back to the comments that was in that video post where they're giving accolades of, oh, this is such a noble gesture and so forth. Listen, the noble gesture would be to deploy that capital that was bought on shoes and attribute it to some kind of wealth creating income asset for your kid. That's the biggest legacy. I remember one of the comments there said drip legacy. Drip means your clothes, if you didn't know, or your apparel. And then somebody even said, maybe you can pass them down to your son. Think. This is not to be a condescending type video, but I really want you to start thinking, how can you create true wealth if you don't understand how the game is played? If you don't understand the rules to the game, how are you going to catch the ball? If you don't know the rules to the game, how are you going to know which direction to run in? How are you going to know when to stop running when you've already scored? Because if you can't score because you didn't catch the ball, because you didn't know the rules, dude, you're never going to win a championship. So listen, when we talk about generational wealth creation, let's get serious. Let's really get with people who have proven themselves in the things that we want to accomplish in life. Come on, you guys see what the Harris family do. This isn't a braggadocious moment. This is a factual moment. When it comes to legacy wealth, we are the number ones at being able to do it, duplicate it, and teach others how to do it. I see a lot of people, they do very successful financially, but are your kids on track? Are they already set up? Are your grandkids who are not born yet already set financially? Are your great-grandchildren financially set who may or may not even be here? That's legacy wealth. That is how you build everlasting legacies. So listen, guys, I'm making this on Christmas Eve on 2024. If you truly want to move the needle, if you truly want 2025 to be a new year and not just the next year, you got to do something different. You can't keep doing the same thing you've been doing. Listen, you guys know one of my brands, C Student CEO. So many times I think people look at me and say, well, dude, you're just a C student. How can I listen to you? Sometimes I think people express anger, resentment, envy, jealousy. But listen, don't be mad at me. You got to be mad at your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, people who told you to go a certain route that may or may not have worked for you. But if it didn't work for you and the route that I did take, it only makes sense to say, hey, listen, can you teach me what worked for you and how can I apply it for me? So listen, let's get out of the ego stuff. Let's get out of the A student versus C student, because like one of my greatest mentors, Dr. George C. Fraser and Dr. Kimbrough, they both said the same thing. A students teach B students who oftentimes work for C students. And Dr. Kimbrough further said, the D student, well, they name buildings after them. So listen, if you want to get on the right track for financial legacy, let's connect. Reach me at drseanharris.com, correction.org. Let's connect. Let's set a time we can pencil in a date and sit down and really lay out a map of putting you on track for your financial future. All right, guys, I'm Dr. Sean J. Harris. Happy holidays and have a new, powerful new you year. Not just a new year, but a new you year. All right, guys, I'm Dr. Sean J. Harris. Make impact, make money while you're doing it.